Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to give you Mr. Naveen Gupta. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome him with a round of applause. A generous round of applause. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, a little about myself. My name is Naveen Gupta. I'm the founder and CEO at Intellinet. So, talking about Intellinet, Intellinet is working in an area of aftermarket solutions. So, there's a little brief about us. Recently been recognized by Forbes as among 200 companies with global potential. We work with OEMs globally and had an opportunity to work not only with OEMs in India and internationally in countries like USA, Canada, Israel and Saudi Arabia. So for our discussion today, I'll be as the agenda for the today event is an ABC, right? So I talking about some of the I can say the low-lying use cases, very common use cases which most of the industries might either using or if they're looking to work in an AI, so these are the use cases they can adopt to. So like in if in aftermarket space specifically, so first of all is the AI powered manuals. So if we talk about any OEMs, any vehicle, they have large number of these service manuals to be referred to. Very large document running in thousands of pages, and every day at dealership, the technician spend a considerable time searching for the information which finally they need to refer to solve a particular problem, right? And now that is what it can and very I think a meaningful use case for the AI, where this manuals can be trained within large language model so that the technician can actually talk to those manual. And I think the information which they can, it is not restricted only to reducing the time. These manual has been written and defined in a particular language, which at times may not be convenient for everyone to understand. So again, the AI can come to a rescue where it can summarize and given topic in an easy to understand language, and probably in the native language of the particular technician. So it can be in regional language or Hindi or Bengali or Urdu, whatever the technician is comfortable with. So that again I think is one of a very prominent AI use cases. In some of the countries you export to, it is a federal requirement where the OEM has to comply by the local language. So again they spend a considerable time, money and effort in converting these manuals to that language. So again through machine translation and with AI, so this can be very effectively used. And as we earlier talked about, we heard about the hallucination in AI. So a feedback loop can be incorporated where every information which AI is giving, if that can be tagged as correct or incorrect, and over a period of time, the AI can learn for itself, and probably if an OEM is using a solution for a couple of months, it can give more precise result with every passing day. So that's about the AI powered manual. So second in line, I want to talk about the search as so, and every day at dealership, the right part identification is what the technician has to go through. So if we talk about a typical catalog, it's a hierarchy of information. Category, model, variant, aggregate, and part name is what the technician has to search to service a particular vehicle. Now, if you look at a typical scenario, it involves doing so many different clicks. Now, imagine with AI, if we can reimagine this with a Google-like interface where you can come and talk to the system in a natural language, like the example given here, where I just can say that, okay, show me all the part for a dummy model named Velocity. So let's say, so show me all the engine part. So reduces the skill and time required to identify a part. And with the so many competition in automotive, so there is a real scarcity of the technical resource. So I think in technologies like this can really help the OEM there, where a less skilled technician can also use the system with equal skill and efficiency. Right. So next in line I want to talk about is an solution. So AI in warranty fraud detection. So if you look at the data available online, so reports suggest that fraudulent warranty claim can account for a significant portion. So now, if we look at a typical warranty claim, it consists of a lot of information, the different part, labor and the cost which a dealer is about to claim to. And manually checking, if you talk about conventional IT system, checking through that information is not possible. So imagine an AI model which can be trained on the past data, which can automatically bucket all your incoming claims with an probability percentage, so that if any claim has higher degree of an fraud detection, that can be actually checked by a human and other can really pass through. So that again I believe can save a significant amount of the time in for the OEM in processing those warranty claims, as ultimately bring an wow factor, as there's a lot of inventory being money being stuck for then both the dealers and the OEMs in the recovery of the claims. And this can happen both from the dealer to OEM and OEM to then supplier side, with the fraud detection can be implemented. So another typical example, if any e-commerce, if you talk about where we are ordering then part or identifying then part, images play a significant role rather than the technical drawing. So the technician identify parts much better within actual images. Now for OEMs, it is a challenge first of all to implement all those images, and so in conventional system today, they have within their own library. So if they are capturing these thousands of parts and hundreds of parts are getting added every day, so an AI solution where a normal image captured through even a mobile app, that can be converted into in studio quality images, where then contrast, sharpness, brightness, tilt angle, and even then background. So all that can be automatically removed, and even they can have some kind of an watermark to prevent any theft of those images online. So that is there. And yeah, then of course the accidental damage assessment. So it's quite a task. Today I think the conventional system, if we again talk about, for any accidental claim, you go to a dealership, they do a claim assessment, then they identify what parts. So which again I believe is a very, very prominent AI use case today, where you can point your phone camera towards a damaged vehicle, and again based on the past model data training, it can pretty accurately identify what all the parts which are damaged, and can give you an estimate to then refine on. So rather than going through each and every component, identifying then panels, paint panel, part, so it automatically take into the consideration working in conjunction with the OEM spare parts database, right? So I think that's another AI use case that can happen. So all the ordering being done, as we earlier heard in the earlier sessions as well, identifying the right stock at dealership. So the stock, the inventory management is a big problem for any OEM, right? Because that's actually the inventory is, planning is very, very critical. What part are required at what dealership? So again, in a conventional IT system, planning that is not that efficient, but with an AI, within past data, and along with then, the actual sales data. So the actual sales data is where the OEM know that what dealer order for what part in what quantity on which date. But along with, if we marriage this data with then secondary data, the location of the dealer, the terrain where the vehicle is operating, because if let's say if it is an hilly terrain, probably the wear or tear of tire is more. If it is an area where there is more rainfall, you might need more wipers, right? So all this primary and secondary sales data, if we have that for quite 10 years, so all that can be combined to train an AI model, which can help OEMs determine what spares are required at what dealership in what quantity, and can help them significantly save a lot of time, and can really help them go ahead of the game. And so in proper inventory management and planning, so that these tools I think will come very, very effective. So yeah, and since now coming to then blockchain, so there are quite in blockchain use cases that can be seen in the automotive. But again, what we have seen something more prominent in the parts and then service side is the second-hand vehicle cost estimation. So in any vehicle is in a dealership, we are capturing a lot of data. So data as and when any car come to then service, what part actually got serviced. So that is in one kind of data. The secondly, whenever, let's say the car got accidental, so that accidental estimates the repair assessment. So that is a secondary set of information. The third is if there are parts which got changed under the warranty. So these are the three main data source, which the information can be captured in any dealership. Now imagine if all this can be, taken to a blockchain, where the algorithms can be written which can determine and auto-determine the actual value of the second-hand vehicle. So rather than relying on manual data which may be fabricated, so the trust factor as what the blockchain is known for. So if this all information is there in a blockchain, and if it is in system and algorithm generated prices, so the end customer can have a more fair value of a second-hand equipment or car. So that I think is one very prominent use case for the blockchain. So yeah, then the another prominent use case for the blockchain can be the supplier recovery. Globally billions of dollars are stuck in the supplier recovery, because again, like, the trust is one very important factor, and that is what the blockchain brings in. So most of the OEMs have their system designed for one level of recovery, right, where they put in recovery claim to their supplier, and they coordinate with the supplier to get the money back. But ultimately that supplier will be further relying on tier 2 and then the tier 3 supplier. So if all the claim data, imagine as and when an OEM's approve and claim, if that information on what parts they actually approved for the claim, at what date and time, and all this information, if that can be sent to a blockchain, so and the tier 2 supplier, tier 3 supplier, so they can all refer to that information, and that can help then bring that trust, so that now they really don't need to spend much time in identifying whether this part is failed or not, because they can 100% rely on information available in a blockchain, and can help them in faster recovery of their dues, right? So that is what can happen. So yeah, I mean, if to summarize that, these technologies, like if today competitive manufacturing sector, like differentiation can be achieved, by remarkable and wow experience both customers and dealer. So these technologies like AI, blockchain, I think these are not just in buzzword. Like any OEM, I think, has to really adopt that if they really want to be in the game, and to make then processes more smoother, efficient, and faster. So yeah, that's all I have for you in this session. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Okay.
I'd just like to give one compliment to you, Naveen. I think your presentation till now by far is the only one which actually summarizes all the three ABC sweet spot, what we were talking since morning. I think it's fantastic. And also, I would like to say what Anurag had mentioned on blockchain. It was an eye-opener for me personally. The stuff you said on blockchain, it was really an eye-opener. I think as an industry, we should adopt more and more these technologies. And what Naveen has presented is a testimony to application. Even Ravi, I'm not just an investor advisor, I'm also a customer. I first became a customer at Quick Meeting, then I became an investor. We swear by Quick Meetings, the AI-enabled MOM. It's next level. It solves so many problems, क्योंकि मीटिंग में जिसको MOM बनाने को बोल दो ना, उसको लगता है हाय मैं कितना जूनियर हूँ, मुझे काम दे दिया गया है. There is a stigma attached to it. Let AI handle it, no? Let AI handle it, name-wise, person-wise. So in the last 3 keynotes, what we have seen is the real applications. It's really fantastic, and that's the need of the hour. घर जाके, office में जाके, if we can apply even 10% of what we have seen here, we are home. Right? Thank you.
See, SAP is being used in auto industry very extensively, but still there are a lot of gaps in SAP, which SAP is not able to provide the answer to the auto industry. Mm-hmm. So how AI industry as a specific and AI plus blockchain can be used? Do you have some use cases for ERP where we can solve some of the problems where there are a lot of gaps? For example, the traceability, definitely we have a discussion on that. Mm-hmm. And there are some other areas like warranty claim is one area, import export is another area. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of gaps in ERP. So how can we use these two concepts to solve these problems? Yeah.
So I think for any OEM today, that any solution you'll talk about it, ultimately somewhere it will be talking to their ERP only, right? Because most of that is a mother source of information. If you talk about then parts, if you talk about, because finally that's where their finance lies for any debit and credit that need to be happen to the supplier side. So SAP will always be, or whatever the other ERP that OEM might be using, that will always be in central body. But yeah, of course, then depending on how their operations are placed, and but yeah, I mean in our experience, we come across these certain areas which I talk about in my presentation. But yeah, I think there are far more wide opportunities which can vary little with the respective OEMs and their scale of operation and their particular product. So that may vary a little.
Do you have some use cases where you have worked on those cases where you have already communicated with any ERP, maybe SAP or maybe Oracle or any other?
Yeah, so say for example, now when you talk about the warranty recovery, right? So ultimately any claim, if you approve for the dealer, you need to pay him, and that information, that debit credit is going to the SAP, right? Likewise, if you recover from supplier, then you need to reconcile that you received that money back, that again has to go to SAP. So as I said, that SAP will remain in pivotal body in all the cases.
Thank you. Naveen, it was very interesting actually.
Thank you.
My question is, when it comes to the third parties, okay, so you're a dealer or any other party. So basically the third party, like person like me who is going to claim to the dealer, and then dealer is going to claim with the OEM, right? That is the process. So my question is, problem in the existing ERP system is not, it is not having access to the up to the last point. How you are going to make it like more subtle and a real-time settlement at the same time, where all the parties are involved in that transaction without making much effort in that direction?
So I think that is where the third-party solution role, play comes in. For example, now we are also not an SAP company, so all what we do, so they are like, we do add-on to SAP. So if we, on the front side, let's say if we do warranty claim management, so on the front side, the system handles all the incoming of the claim, validation of the claim, approval of the claim, and once that is approved at our level, then only for the accounting, we pass on to the SAP, where SAP takes in. So what you said that, SAP don't have that, the last mile connectivity. So again, I think at many places, even companies use SAP, have extended that to the dealer as well for even that purpose. So that may vary from OEM to OEM.
So like you were talking about the blockchain as technology again. So my question is like, why smart contract can't handle this automatic settlement?
Sorry, can you
A
please?
smart contract in the blockchain for the automatic settlement of all the process of this warranty claim.
Yeah, so honestly, like, these are, as far as in blockchain, I don't have any practical, experience implementing. So these are some of the use cases can identify. So that's, I think, more of a practical, problem to be ponder on that if that comes to the implementation. So probably, I think Anurag here who can answer it, better. Thank you.
This is really interesting, and thank you so much, sir, Mr. Naveen Gupta, for sharing these words of wisdom. And I'm certainly a notch higher. Yeah, and here I would like to call representatives from Volkswagen for felicitating sir. Can we have someone here? Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.